My best friend of 7+ years blocked me for the second time and it absolutely destroyed me. Hey Reddit, I don't really use this site much but what happened has been eating me up inside and I just kinda needed to get it out of my system and figured here would be a good place after hearing about this subreddit from YouTube Reddit story videos. Shout out to Smosh and to Hot Takes. Back in 2017 to 2018, while playing Destiny 2 back when it was actually good, I, 31M, along with my friend group at the time met my now ex-best friend, 33M, let's call him G. We had picked him up while looking for people to do a raid and we all clicked. He vibed with our whole group and slowly he integrated more into our gang until he was one of the boys if you will. G was and still is genuinely one of the best guys I've ever met, a true salt of the earth kinda guy. Over time me and him got to know each other quite well, we'd talk every day, usually play stuff together, typical friend stuff but we also started to confide in each other a lot, always be there to give the other advice or just be there for each other during a rather tough time. Just kinda be that type of therapist friend anyone could go to speak their mind and feel like their concerns were heard. Me and him were the dads of the friend group for lack of a better term. A major point in our friendship came in late 2021, due to some decisions G made when he was younger that I will not go into detail about here as they are very personal. He had warned us back in 2020 that eventually he would have to go away for a while because of those decisions and during that time he would obviously be unable to talk or do stuff with us. He regretted the actions of his younger self, came to terms with the consequences long ago and just wanted to be upfront about it with us since we had grown close as friends and felt we deserved to know. Which honestly made us respect him more. It was a shock at first but it didn't change how we viewed him and in late 2021 he had to leave to start his time away. Because we had become so close over the years, while G was away he had added me to his list of people he'd be able to talk to while he was serving his time. We'd email every week, usually multiple times and have one phone call, or for 15 minutes we'd shoot the shit and I'd give him updates about how the group is doing, what's been going on, updates and patch notes for the games we played ECT, and I in turn would relay the info about how he's doing and what his thoughts about the game updates and stuff were to the group at large. This went on for about a year until late 2022 when he was released. At this point I feel it should be prevalent to mention since it will come up in a bit that me and G had a sort of running joke, or we would be kinda toxic to each other. Crude bro humor I guess would be the term if that even is a thing. It's not. Some examples. When one of us joined VC well who TF invited you? Calling each other fuckhead, loser, ECT, in messages or in call. Responding to something small and mundane like dropping a piece of paper with stuff like FFS this is why no one likes / loves you. Or kicking each other / leaving our friend group Discord server as a joke when a joke bombed or someone said something and we'd fake be offended. Blocking each other after someone says something stupid. Everything was said in jest and we never meant any of it genuinely but over time it started to take its toll and we both agreed to try to refrain from doing it so much if not just cut doing it altogether, but old habits die hard. Jumping ahead to November 2024, I was looking through my Steam games trying to decide what I wanted to play and noticed G and a few other of our friends were playing Civ 6, a game that we had all tried to play together earlier that year but I wasn't really vibing with it due to being so used to Civ 5 and was also kind of vocal about my dislike of the game. After seeing them all playing it and was feeling a bit lonely I thought fuck it, I didn't really give it a fair chance so I wanted to give it another shot plus I like doing stuff with my friends so I messaged him and was like, "Hey man, saw y'all were playing Civ 6, could I join y'all? Or if not would y'all mind if I hung out in VC and just vibed while I play my own thing and hang with you guys?" He responds with hey it's our other friend game so I can't add anyone sorry which I'm like alright cool NP and I are in our Discord and say hey insert what I sent to G here would you mind if I joined? And instead of our replying, G does and just flat out says effectively no you can't, stop asking. I get pissed the fuck off, because not only is he replying to a message that wasn't directed towards him, not only is he answering for our instead of them answering themselves. Not only did he just say less than 2 minutes ago to me directly, it's not my game to decide. But also because we literally had the same exact scenario happen the week prior if not a few days prior where I asked her something about a game and it plays out almost exactly the same way, not to mention after the first time the other week I had messaged him like hey TF was that about, and after talking about it, it seemed like we both had solved our issues after hashing it out but clearly that was not the case. Cut to my mistake. I make the poor decision in the heat of the moment of kicking G from the server after having a back and forth with him in our group Discord text chat. I immediately sent a re-invite to him because I instantly felt regret for doing it after cooling off since I let my emotions get the better of me but he blocked me before it could send. I'm like alright, we've done this before, it'll blow over in a bit we just need time to cool off, everything will go back to normal. Weeks pass. At this point I'm starting to worry because I wasn't expecting things to blow up this way especially when everyone in our group knows I didn't mean anything by it and we all just chalked it up to me and his running joke especially since we didn't really do it for a few months. So I asked her if he could send G a message for me since he still has me blocked. I wanted to apologize to him and also thank him for, despite us having our spat at the moment, he still put in a good word for me when the job I applied for called him, since I had put him down as a reference before everything happened and he knew how badly I needed it since I was out of work since the pandemic hit. R said sure, and he became my liaison to send him my apology. A week later, around mid-December 2024, G unblocks me and sends me a message along the lines of, "Hey man, I'm glad you got that job. I'm happy you were able to get a win for once since you deserve one after everything. Just because I know you're gonna ask, I'm not gonna be coming back to the group for a while. I kinda just wanna focus on some life stuff, so I'll leave you unblocked, but just give me some space." Hearing from him honestly felt good after all the time since everything happened, and I mainly left him alone. Through the rest of December 2024 to around March 2025, it was mainly silence with an occasional, "Hey, hope things are good on your end. K-by" type message here and there from me, or a funny meme I thought he'd like. I did have to break the limit at one point because her wasn't doing so good with their life situation, so I shot him a message saying, "Hey, can you check in on R for me? They're not doing so well and I feel like you would be better suited to suggest some things to him for help because I don't have any good experience other than just being someone to vent to, but you might actually have a really good piece of advice to give, so if you could, I'd appreciate it." After that I tried to keep my distance, though a few more just checking in, "Hope you're doing well" posts happen every other month and a half. All the while, are now in a better situation was helping me coordinate with G and another friend who I was having some issues with, and it seemed like things were slowly starting to heal and get better between us. That is until a few weeks ago. Around my birthday a few weeks ago, at the time of writing this, I was trying to organize plans with a few friends for the day proper. In my hectic typing back and forth and jumping from one DM to another, I had accidentally typed a message to G thinking they were someone else since they were around the top of my Discord DMs still. After realizing I had hit send, I tried to type up another quick message. "OMG, sorry, I didn't mean to send you the..." But I noticed a pop-up message saying the last one didn't go through due to some connection with the receiver, and my heart just sank. I knew that the only reason that pop-up was there was because he had blocked me again, and sure enough my fears were confirmed when I checked, and that was exactly what happened. I don't know when he did it or why. To my knowledge everything was fine on both ends. R had told me not even a week or so prior things were good, so I genuinely don't know what happened or if I did anything. Part of me thinks that G remembered that my birthday was getting close and that I might reach out on or near the day with another message along the lines of, "Hey, as a birthday present, can we be friends again?" Which I won't lie, I was thinking about doing, but I chose not to since I didn't want to ruin all the hard work I put in and didn't want to screw up anything. That might just be my insecurities or depression talking, which I struggle with a lot from time to time, but I won't lie, the coincidence and timing of things feels a bit strange. Overall I just feel crushed, defeated, and empty inside. G was genuinely my closest and best friend, and to have our 7+ year friendship end over something small and stupid like this just makes me feel worse, and it kills me inside, especially after things were looking like they were on the path to be mended. If you made it this far, thank you for reading. It feels good to finally just put this somewhere instead of keeping it bottled up and letting the pressure build. I just really needed to just vent. While I hope we can somehow fix our friendship, part of me feels like I should just give up hope and move on, since the whole reason all this happened is entirely my fault, but if I can just let it all go, I'll try to move on, I guess, but I'll hold on to a little hope that maybe things will get better. On a final note, I doubt you'll ever see this, but if you somehow do, G, I truly am sorry for everything that happened. I didn't think any of this would happen after what happened that day. I let my emotions get the better of me, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't regret it. You were like a brother to me, and I loved you. After everything that we've been through, the highs and the lows, all the things we confided in each other, the time you were away, that and I was your connection to the rest of the gang, which I thought made our friendship stronger, to the friend group as a whole that we built over the years with some of the best people I could have ever have asked for to be a part of my life, for all that to end. 7+ years of friendship, all because of a stupid mistake I wish I could take back. I can't express how deeply sorry I am. One day I hope we can resolve what happened and that we can be friends again, but that is 100% entirely up to you. I'd love the chance to talk things out, but if you truly don't want to and have moved on, then that's something I'm just going to have to come to terms with, and while it will be hard, in the end it's all due to my actions and I'll have to live with that. Thank you for being my friend these past 7 years. You changed my life for the better, and if things truly end here, if nothing else, I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope life treats you well wherever you go from here. Your friend. Unknown. Let me analyze this story for you. This story is a raw, emotionally detailed account of a long-term friendship that slowly fractured under the weight of unresolved tensions, misunderstood intentions, and the limitations of digital communication. It's a powerful narrative that blends vulnerability, regret, and deep emotional attachment, and it offers a striking reflection on how complicated relationships, especially those forged online, can be. Let's break it down in a long-form analysis, addressing the emotional core, interpersonal dynamics, communication failures, patterns of behavior, and psychological undercurrents that define this story. 1. Foundations of the friendship, digital brotherhood and emotional intimacy. Your relationship with G started like many modern friendships, online gaming. What makes this particularly special is how it evolved beyond just a casual connection over shared interests. You became close emotional confidants, what many would describe as emotional best friends or even platonic soulmates. You didn't just share laughs, you helped each other navigate life, pain, stress, and real struggles. The fact that he allowed you to be part of his life during a deeply personal and stigmatized experience, his time away due to past legal issues, speaks volumes about the trust and depth of your bond. Your role as his communicator to the group and as his emotional tether to the outside world likely deepened your attachment and sense of responsibility to him. You didn't just play games together, you carried emotional weight for one another. This sort of emotional interdependence is beautiful, but it can also create a fragility when one side perceives betrayal or abandonment. 2. The communication style, the running joke and the mask of humor. The crude, sarcastic, and toxic bro humor you shared became a recurring theme, a coping mechanism, a way of showing affection while maintaining a humorous, emotionally detached front. However, what's clear is that this style, while once mutual, started to wear thin over time. Both of you acknowledged it, even tried to tone it down, but didn't really change the pattern. Why is that significant? Because humor, especially when rooted in insult or sarcasm, often masks unresolved tension. It becomes a safe way to express resentment or disapproval without breaking the rules of the relationship. In your case, it seems that you both became emotionally tired of the act, but didn't know how to transition the relationship out of that space. So it lingered. This set the stage for misunderstandings to be read in a more hostile or emotionally loaded way than perhaps they were intended. 3. The inciting incident, miscommunication and the breaking point. The November 2024 incident is the key turning point. From your perspective, G overstepped by responding to a question not directed at him and giving you a harsh denial that contradicted what he said moments earlier. Given the buildup of tension and the previous similar situation, this triggered a larger emotional response in you, likely not just because of the moment itself, but what it symbolized, a perceived shift in how he valued or respected you in the group dynamic. Kicking him from the server, even if meant as a knee-jerk emotional reaction, was a concrete action that broke the unspoken rules of your friendship. Even if your dynamic included jokingly kicking/blocking each other, the emotional context had changed. It no longer felt like a joke, it felt like rejection. This incident was your friendship's crisis point, where what we used to be able to joke about no longer applied. 4. Attempt at reconciliation, a fragile, one-sided recovery. After the fallout, you took steps to apologize and reconnect. What's telling is that he responded, acknowledged your apology, and even kept the door open, albeit guardedly. That's a strong indication that he still cared and perhaps wanted to believe the friendship could be salvaged. However, it was clear he needed space, real space, not just fewer messages, but a break from the emotional expectations. While your intentions were good, checking in, sending memes, helping etc., your occasional messages may have violated the emotional distance he requested. Even well-meaning contact can feel like pressure when someone is trying to detach or process. This is one of the most poignant tensions in your story. Your pain wanted connection, his pain wanted distance. 5. The second block, finality, confusion, and the grief of ambiguity. The second block, discovered accidentally around your birthday, hits especially hard because it's ambiguous. There's no dramatic confrontation, no message, just silence. It leaves you questioning everything, which is emotionally brutal because there's no closure. It disrupts the healing process. It reopens the wound of abandonment. You even explore possible reasons, e.g., him anticipating a birthday message, but acknowledge these could be projections of your own fear and hurt. This self-awareness is important, it shows emotional maturity, but it doesn't make the pain any less real. 6. Guilt, regret, and the weight of self-blame. A major emotional current here is your self-blame. You repeatedly acknowledge your own mistakes, the kick, the messages after being asked for space, the birthday DM, and express deep regret. While it's admirable that you take responsibility, it's also important to notice the pattern of overowning the blame. Yes, you made mistakes. But relationships are never one-sided. G had agency, choices, and also contributed to the breakdown. He could have communicated more clearly, told you directly what he needed, or given you a more defined boundary instead of silence and a block. Instead, the friendship slowly died of misalignment and quiet withdrawal. Your mourning of this relationship is not just sadness, it's grief, and grief is nonlinear, confusing, and full of what-ifs. 7. The letter at the end, a eulogy of friendship. The final section, the letter to G, is beautiful, heartfelt, and painful. It reads like a eulogy not of a person, but of a living relationship that mattered deeply. It encapsulates the depth of your bond and the devastation you feel from its collapse. What makes this letter particularly powerful is that it admits wrongdoing, shows gratitude, leaves the door open without demanding reconciliation, accepts the possibility of permanent loss. This is mature and generous. You're not asking G to forgive you, you're saying you hope he will, but will understand if he doesn't. It's vulnerable and honest, and it brings emotional closure for yourself, even if G never sees it.